Hello everyone. Let's continue our discussion on module 3 data communication. This is part 10 of the discussion, that is signal encoding techniques. So far we covered the two major techniques, that is digital data to digital signal conversion and digital data to analog signal conversion. And right now we started our discussion on analog data to digital signal conversion. So for converting an analog data to digital signal, the very first step is we have to convert the analog data to digital form. So once you get the data in digital form, then any of the previously discussed technique we can use for converting it into digital signal, either a direct approach like NRZ, or you can have some kind of modulation technique so that the digital data can be converted to analog signal what is being supported by the carrier. Okay, so the concern here is how we can convert that analog data into some digital representation. So for that what we are doing is the sampling, right? Sampling technique. And formally we have two ways of doing this sampling and quantization, or the conversion of analog data to digital, some kind of digital form. One technique we discussed, that is a pulse code modulation. Now we have the second category, or an advanced or improved version of this PCM, a slightly different approach for converting the analog data to digital form. So that is delta modulation that we will be covering in this part. So delta modulation, a variety of techniques have been proposed or used to improve the performance of the pulse code modulation or to reduce its complexity. One of the most popular alternative to this PCM is delta modulation. With the delta modulation, an analog input is approximated by a staircase function. So here we are using a staircase function. We will see it with an example how it is formulated and how it is functioning. Staircase function that moves up or down. So just like a staircase, this will be either moving up or down, a kind of digital representation, or by that movement distance is known to be quantization level, some delta or step size, like that, some quantization level, just like we taken that quantized value at some different intervals in PCM, right? Like that we will divide that y-axis into different equal intervals, something like this. That is what we call as a quantization level. Or when it comes to staircase function, the step size of the staircase function. And of course the samples are taken at a sampling interval TS, and you know how to make the sampling interval. It should be chosen in such a way that the sampling rate is greater than twice the bandwidth of the signal which is to be converted, or twice the highest frequency. So here also that sampling theorem, everything is applicable, but the way we are taking the samples at regular sampling interval, that method of noting down or converting it into some kind of binary varies. Okay, here we are depending on something called a staircase function for doing that. We will take an example and see how it is working. So the important characteristics of this staircase function is that its behavior is binary. At each sampling time, the function either moves up or down. So with that we can see that so up or down means some 2 bits are enough. If it is up, represented using 1 bit. If it is down, represented using another bit. So that's enough. At a constant amount, delta, that is a step size or the quantization level. Thus the output of the delta modulation process can be represented as a single binary digit for each sample. So here comes the difference. In PCM, we taken that sample, we noted down that sample value at different sample interval, then we converted or quantized it into some discrete value, and that value is ranging say from 0 to 16, 0 to 15 in our previous example. So that each sample value we used 4 bits. But here such 4 bits are not needed. Instead of those 4 bits, we just need a single bit. That is a specialty here. Similarly, in that case, if you want to improve the performance, instead of 16 level quantization level, we are forced to use some 256 level, so that the data rate will be high, because for now each sample will be represented by 8 bits. But here it is not like that. Whatever be the quantization level, whether you increase the quantization level to say some 256 or 16 or whatever it is, irrespective of that, we need just a single bit for representing a sample value. Okay, so that makes it different and important over the pulse code modulation. And how we are choosing that bit cleverly, that we will see with an example. Okay, so that is why its behavior is always binary, irrespective of the number of quantization level you are choosing. Okay. And we will be assigning that bit, that single bit for each sample value like this. A 1 is generated if the staircase function is going up. As I already told you, up and down movements are there for the staircase function. For up movement we are giving 1, and for down movement we are giving 0. That's all. We will see with an example. So it's like this. So this is the analog signal which you want to convert to some digital form. So we have to take the samples. Okay, and we, as usual, by applying the sampling theorem, we are going to take the samples at an interval Ts, and that is equal to 1 by 2 times the bandwidth of the signal, or 2 times the highest frequency. Okay, those things everything applicable here also, but instead of noting down the just remember how that PCM is working. For the analog signal, at every sample interval we will note down the corresponding sample values, right, the amplitude value, then we convert into some digital form, and then that we do that quantization, and finally that quantized discrete value we represent using some 4 bits, 8 bits, like that. Okay, but now that is something different. So here we are using some kind of a staircase function. See that this is a staircase function. This is our original analog signal. So that staircase function is something that is moving closely to the analog signal, but not much closer. Here you can see that some very good distance is there, right? So it is somewhat far away from the original analog signal. So just like quantization error, here also we have errors or kind of noise. In this here the type of noise or error that is being generated because of this distance means you can see that it is not closely representing the original signal. Okay, so that deviation is something said to be slope overload noise. I will explain what is this. And similarly, another kind of noise here you can see is quantizing noise. So 2 types of errors are normally we can encounter in delta modulation: slope overload noise and quantizing noise, and that we will see what is it. It is there still, but the benefit here is about the data rate. We just need a single bit for representing each sample value. Okay, so that is a very good improvement over the previous one, because in the previous one it is simply proportional to the number of quantization level. Here it is not, irrespective of how many quantization levels that is a division of y-axis you are taking. We just need a single bit for representing the amplitude value, and it is like this. Initially, suppose we are starting from some point here. Okay, and for each sampling interval the staircase function will be simply maintaining a constant amplitude. And see, at this point, let me explain from this point. See, at this point, just take the amplitude value of the staircase function. So the staircase function amplitude value is this, right? So just note down this value. Okay, the y-axis value corresponding to staircase function, and note down the amplitude value of the signal. See, this is the amplitude of the signal. So here the numbers are not noted down. If you note down the means y-axis also, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., you can see that this is our staircase function, and at this sampling point I am just looking at the first sampling point. Okay, at this sampling point, if I am looking at the signal is at this point, right? So staircase function is at this point. So note on the amplitude of the staircase function and note on the amplitude of the signal. If the amplitude of the signal is higher than the amplitude of the staircase function, the staircase function is supposed to move towards the signal, means it has to be move up, right? So we will be assigning an up movement for the staircase function. Okay, again that after that up movement for the next entire sampling interval, it will maintain that constant amplitude. Again at the next sampling, hope you can see that mouse arrow. I am depending on the mouse arrow to note down the points. Just look at the mouse arrow. Okay, because I didn't take any marker, so that it will make things complicated. Just listen, just look at the mouse arrow. So at this point again, see, this is the amplitude of the staircase function. Okay, so corresponding to that sampling interval, the amplitude of the original signal is this. Anyway, it is a higher value, so again the staircase function has to be moved up. So it is given an up movement. Again it is given an up movement. So like that it will keep on moving up because the signal is moving up. Okay, now at some point, say again here also, the staircase function amplitude is this only, and the signal is at a higher. So again I am giving an up movement. Okay, and that I will continue till this point. Okay, now see at this point actually they are overlapping, some kind of an overlap you can see. Okay, so let me take it as equal value. Okay, equal or less means you have to go do a down movement. Okay, equal or less. Up means strictly up means you have to give a up movement. So that is how we are creating our algorithm. Okay, so here it is an equal movement, so I moved the staircase function down. Now this is my staircase function, this is the sampling interval. Now at the sampling interval, see the staircase function, what is the value of the staircase function? This is the amplitude of the staircase function. Okay, now at this point, what is the amplitude of our signal? It is down, right? This is the amplitude of the signal. So as the amplitude of the signal is lesser than the amplitude of the staircase function, we given a down movement for the staircase function, and for equal value also we given the down movement. Okay, like that. Again down, because this is the staircase function. At the sampling interval, signal is very showing a very low amplitude, so down, like that it is going. Okay, why it is going down? Because the signal is also going down. So our algorithm is just like this. Just compare the amplitude of at every sampling interval, just compare the amplitude of the staircase function, the previous amplitude of the staircase function with that of the current amplitude of the, because the previous amplitude it is retaining for the entire interval. Okay, with the current amplitude of the signal. If the current amplitude of the signal at the end of the sampling interval is here it is lower than the staircase function amplitude, give a down movement. If it is higher than the staircase function amplitude, give an up movement. Okay, see now let's see what is happening here. So at this point again down movement, right? So now at this point, this is our staircase function. As it is equal, again we given down movement. This is our staircase function. See, the signal is up, so that is why we given an up movement. And now again this is our staircase function, signal is down, we given a down movement, again up down movement. So some kind of jerking or change of altitude, this means staircase function going up, signal going down, staircase function going down, signal going up, something like that is happening. That is because see what is happening here, the signal amplitude is not changing much, right? That is the reason for this kind of a jerking. So that is what corresponds to the quantizing noise. So two types of signal behavior. So here the signal amplitude is changing rapidly. Okay, changing rapidly, and that leads to, and our staircase function is not able to reach up to that level. So that is why we are getting this kind of a difference, that is called a slope overload noise. The slope of the signal is changing very fast, or signal amplitude is changing rapidly, and we are not able to reach with that. So that is corresponds to the slope overload noise. Same thing happening for a rapidly changing amplitude signal, whether it is increasing or decreasing, same thing at both. But here the signal amplitude is not changing much, and it is going almost it is retaining some kind of a constant amplitude or slightly varying amplitude, and that leads to some kind of jerking for the staircase function, and that corresponds to the quantizing noise. Okay, simply it is moving up down, some kind of small overhead. Okay, so such two difficulties are here. Now see, this is the output delta modulation signal, that is this is the corresponding digital signal for the original analog signal or analog information or the data. This is the corresponding digital data. Okay, now just like that zeros and ones, they are represented by some kind of, by using some kind of an NRZ signaling, some high low voltage. So initially it is started with the 0, then it is 1 for this much period, then it started decreasing. Okay, 0 0 0, here it is increase decrease like that, because of this quantizing noise it is coming like this. Okay, hope everything is clear. Now one more thing I want to make make you clear. At this point, see this slope overload noise. Why it is happening? Because of the rapid change of the amplitude of the original analog signal. Okay. And now if you want to decrease this slope overload noise, so if you want to make the staircase function very close to that of the original signal, what you can do is you can increase the step size, right? The problem is step size is here this much. Suppose step size is something more, then instead of this point, at this point itself you may be reaching very close to this. Okay, suppose you are doubling the step size. Just imagine the staircase function, it will be coming here. Okay, now it is very close, right? Again like this or like this only. Sampling interval you keep as same, or simply increase the step size. And again it will be coming, so that you will be getting a very closer staircase function for the signal. So to decrease the slope overload noise, you have to increase the staircase step size, okay, or the condensation level size. I think it is clear for you, right? To make our staircase function very near to the original signal, you can increase the step size. So instead of this much movement, you give your up movement, say double of it. Again this, again double of it. So that's, it will be very close to the original signals. But when you are doing like that, the problem is the condensing noise. So if it is the case of condensing noise, see, condensing noise is some kind of your alternate. When you are moving up, signal is going down, like that, right? So to decrease the condensing noise, what you have to do? You have to decrease the step size. What is happening as the step size is this much, when the signal is going down, you are just moving ahead of the signal, right? But see, instead of this, suppose the step size is half of it, you will not, okay, this kind of a jerking will not be there. You will move up to this only. Again you can have some kind of more up value, but still it will be there, but the significance can be means its severity can be reduced, or we can reduce the condensing noise to some extent if you decrease the step size, and we can reduce the slope overload noise if we can increase the step size. So we need a balance of step size. It should not be too high, it should not be too low. If it is too low, the slope overload noise will be high. If it is too high, the condensing noise will be high. So take a value cleverly by looking at the behavior of the original information or some other parameters, okay. So that is something how the step size is related to the slope overload noise. So the entire picture is clear for you, how the staircase function is generated and how the up and down movements are given, okay, and how the binary information is generated. The step size, if it is moving up, means by up movement I am giving 1 for the binary, okay. So simply the staircase is converted into a binary. If it is up movement 1, if it is down movement 0. So at the receiver will be getting some kind of zeros and ones, okay. So the receiver can understand. So what the receiver will be doing, it will try to generate the staircase function from the binary. First it will generate the staircase function. So it is very easy. If it is 1, give an up movement, okay. If the input is 0, give a down movement. So like that, from the digital information, it is straightforward to generate the staircase function by knowing the step size correctly. So once we get the staircase function, we can smoothen the staircase function, or we can pass it through some kind of a filter to retrieve the original analog signal. That how the filter is working and all, we are not talking here. Simply by using some smoothening function or some kind of integration, we can try to convert the discrete value to some continuous value, and that will be a close approximation of the signal. You will not get the original signal exactly, because definitely these errors are having some impact, but we will get a close approximation of the original signal, okay, that we can ensure. So that is a complete idea. Now these things I explained in the upcoming slides using some sentences. Okay. This figure again represents how the binary input is being generated and how the staircase function is generated. Okay, and some kind of feedback mechanism we are using, right? The original analog signal we are feeding, and also the previous staircase function value we are taking. We are just comparing the previous staircase function amplitude with the analog input amplitude, and if the analog input amplitude is higher than that of the staircase function amplitude, one will be generated, or the staircase function will be given an up movement. If it is lower than the previous value of the staircase function, so this is where the staircase function is generated, that is fed like this by a feedback mechanism. Okay, and we are comparing the previous value of the staircase function with the analog value, which is to be converted into digital form. Okay, if it is higher, 1, if it is lower, 0, like that we will generate the binary input. Okay, so 1 corresponds to step size, a positive value for the step size, plus delta for the staircase function, and 0 corresponds to minus delta. So the previous staircase function we will take, if it is 1, we will give a up movement, if it is 0, we will give a down movement. So that summation is happening here, and we will introduce a delay of 1 unit, means some time unit, means this is actually the sampling interval time. So during that time the staircase function should maintain that constant amplitude, right? So that is why this delay is introduced, and after that again we will generate the next value, and that will be added, and delay will be introduced, like that. Now at the receiver side, receiver will be getting some binary, right, some ones and zeros. If it is 1, it will assume a plus delta value for the staircase function. If it is 0, it will assume a minus delta value for the staircase function. So this is the constructor waveform. After each movement, after introducing the delay, again plus delta or minus delta to so that we will get the subsequent part of the signal. So that is why again here we have a kind of looping back. Okay, so hope this clear picture is also clear for you. So the logic is like the transition, that is up or down, that occurs at each sampling interval is chosen so that the staircase function tracks the original signal as closely as possible. So that is our intention. Now the logic of the process is essentially a kind of feedback mechanism. For transmission, the following occurs at each sampling time. The analog input is compared to the most recent value of the approximating staircase function. So what is the last or the recent value of the staircase function? Compare it with the amplitude of the analog. If it is greater, 1 or plus delta, less give a down movement. If the value of the sampled waveform exceeds the staircase function, a 1 is generated, otherwise 0 is generated. This staircase is always changed in the direction of the input signal. If it is going up, the staircase function is also going up. When the signal started moving down, staircase function will also move down. The output of the delta modulation process is therefore a binary sequence that can be used at the receiver to reconstruct the staircase function. So staircase function at the center side is it is just actually the staircase, the binary equivalent of the staircase function is being generated by the receiver, but at the receiver side, by looking at the staircase function, the receiver will be constructing the original signal, and then it will smoothen it to a analog form. The staircase function at the receiver side can be smoothened by some type of integration process or by passing it through a low pass filter to produce an analog approximation of the analog input. So at this point, how this is exactly done, a lot of techniques are involved in the background. You just understand that staircase function will be smoothened to an analog form. That is enough. And they may ask you separately about this, what is condensing noise and slope overloading in case of delta modulation, or explain as part of explanation of the delta modulation, you can point out these things. There are two important parameters in a delta modulation scheme that determines the efficiency of the technique: the size of the step that is assigned to each binary digit, that is delta, and the sampling rate. And how this delta is related, that we already seen how we can increase or decrease two types of noise by adjusting the delta. It has to be chosen to produce a balance between two types of noise or errors. When the analog waveform is changing very slowly, that we see in that jerking kind of thing, the staircase, the condensing noise will occur, and this noise increases as delta is increased. Okay, so that I explained already. To get a better form of it, I mean to reduce this particular error, you can decrease the delta. And on other hand, when the analog waveform is changing more rapidly than the staircase can follow, the slope overload noise will be there. So what we can do is we can increase the staircase so that the staircase function can closely follow the we can increase the step size. Okay, So, and this noise increases as delta decrease. To reduce a noise, you can increase the delta. It should be clear that the accuracy of the scheme can be improved by increasing the sampling rate. So that is, sampling, when that sampling rate is should be 2 times the bandwidth or the highest frequency or more than that. As you keep on increasing it, definitely you will be getting very, very close value and you can improve the accuracy, but that will result in higher data rate. Okay, so that many bits will be generated per second. If just like we taken in the previous part, so like some 8,000 samples per second, so 1 bit per sample, say 8,000 bits per second. Similarly, if you increase the sampling rate from 8,000 to some 16,000, performance will be high, but at every sample interval we have to generate 1 bit. That 16,000 or whatever, that many bits per second you are forced to send. So like that, the data rate will increase if you increase the sampling rate. That is applicable for PCM also. Now, the principal advantage of the delta modulation over PCM is the simplicity of its implementation, because simply an up and down movement by using a comparator, that is enough. But in the previous case, you saw you have to note down the sampling value, you have to do the digitization or the quantization. Then you are using an encoder, you convert everything into some 4 bits or 8 bits like that, right? So that much complexity is not here, and also the number of the data rate is significantly improved also. With less number of bits you can represent the same amount of information as that of the PC. But if you look at the PC, the signal to noise ratio, the noise is something more here, right? 2 types of noise we saw, like quantizing and the slop overload. So because of that, the signal to noise ratio of PCM is better compared to delta modulation. That is what is decided, right? The signal to noise ratio is better, means noise is less and the signal quality is more. So that is one advantage of PCM, but at the same time the simplicity is what makes delta modulation attractive. So with this we can wind up our discussion. So we completed the third category of encoding, that is analog data to digital signaling. For that, how that analog data can be converted to digital data by that sampling and quantization process, and 2 ways of doing it, that is the pulse code modulation and delta modulation. Okay, next we will move on to the last part of this module, that is how we can convert analog data to analog signal. Okay, that we will see in the next video. Thank you.